ordering. Let's get it. Do I have to start over? You cannot minimize Zoom when you are recording this meeting. What a joke. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As I said, I'm really excited to be doing this. I've always wanted to be doing stand-up comedy. It's always been a dream I've had since middle school and high school, but I never thought that I could actually do it because of the fact that I have horrible social anxiety. You know, not a big issue when it comes to actually being able to do something like that, but you know, it's something I have to deal with. And so instead of doing stand-up comedy and really pursuing that, I thought, okay, maybe I should find a better career choice and something that I could actually, see myself doing. So I chose acting. And so that, I think, proposes no issues down the line, that I think I'll be okay and pretty much set. So with my future set in stone, I think it'd be pretty, I think it's a good start and a good way to start my career by talking about how I deal with social anxiety and how I get through it. And by get through it, I absolutely mean bypass by any means necessary. Just cheat the system any way I can just to live through today. And I think I got to find a different place for this phone because people are interrupting me. I think a good place to start is restaurants, because I think we all have a little social anxiety when it comes to ordering food at a restaurant. But apparently the issue seems to be more critical when it comes to me, especially with all the people that seem to comment on my how I order food or anything really. And I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's something to interrogate me about, but it happens. And the phrase that I use when I'm ordering something at a restaurant is starts with hello. You know, you have to be polite. I think that's just a given. I was wondering if I could get blank. Now, I'm not going to finish the phrase because the rest doesn't matter. But the constant is always that the word wondering, that just marks red flags, apparently. There are riots in the street whenever I say that word, which I guess I can understand where that resentment comes from. Because when you're ordering food, there's no reason for the wait staff to be wasting any more time. You should just say, can I get this? And, go. But, I don't want to be locked into my food choice. What if I want something else? Because if I say, can I get, that's basically saying to the wait staff, I'm locked in. There is no doubt in my mind that I want this thing. But if I say, hey, I was wondering, then maybe, possibly the wait staff could go, well, I mean, he's not sure. Maybe I should give my professional opinion on the matter. Who knows? It's something that could work out for my benefit. And, I also just don't want to be emotionally committed to my food choice. Because say I want to get the hamburger. I don't know what food I'm ordering at this hypothetical restaurant. I don't have the hypothetical menu. Say I'm ordering the hamburger. And can I get the hamburger? Then the waitstaff's just going to go no. And then I'm going to feel sad because I didn't get what I wanted. But if I say I was wondering if I could get the hamburger and they say no, well, then that's no skin off my back because I was just wondering. I had no game. One, I have no game. And two, I have no skin in said game. That it's just something that happens. And then I order my secondary option because I always have a secondary option because I overthink everything. And because I plan for that situation to happen. And so that's just something that happens. And so I get critiqued over it, and that's fine. It's a suboptimal way to order food. If I had to dream, if I had to showcase what I thought my optimal or perfect restaurant scenario would be, let me get into it. Open the door. I'm already out of it. Walk in, not to a cheer or anything, but like a group, Like, that'd be nice. Like, just acknowledgement. Walk up to the server. I don't need the server to say, "Hey, Mr. Hernandez, welcome. Take a seat. Here's your seat." Like, I don't want that. I don't even want to be on a name basis. I'd rather just, "Hey, what's up, man?" Clearly, they've forgotten my name, which is great because I've forgotten theirs. And I go, "Hello." And I'm already halfway to my seat when the server goes, "Do you want the usual?" And I'm giving a half-hearted, "Yeah, sure, whatever," as I take my seat. And my seat is in the perfect lounge scenario. It's not too close to the TV where I crane my neck, and it's not too far away where I'm like straining my eyes. It's like a nice little comfortable distance. And if someone's sitting in that seat, well, then obviously my meal is ruined and I'm going to be upset, but I'm not going to leave because we've already established that I made um, a deal when I walked into the establishment that I would purchase something. And if I left now, that's just a break of my promise. And so I sit reluctantly in my secondary seat, unless if all the seats are filled, then I would rather sit on the floor instead of sitting in a window seat. Because I think window seats are the absolute worst seats in a restaurant. And here's why. It's very simple. Of course, I'd explain it because it's a very arbitrary thing. Window seats are the worst because you, one, can't see the door behind you. If depending on the location of the window seat, the door is out of sight, and so you can't get any new information on who is leaving or entering this building. So you've lost there. And two, and more importantly, you invite yourself to anybody on the street to walk up to you and just stare at you. Just completely deadpan, open eyes, just looking at you eat. And you can't stop them. There's nothing you can do to stop them. That's just a fact that you now have to deal with while you're munching down on your meal. And to be fair, you kind of deserve it for watching people walk while you eat as a sign of, I have more time to spare than you, and I'm going to mock you in this window seat. So I would never do that because I have too much of a time pressure in my head when I'm walking down the street because I'm mainly trying to just get from point A to point B. Like whenever I'm walking down the street, it's a lot of like head down, like I gotta just go. Because there's a lot of dangers on the street. And I'm not talking about crime, that's old news. I'm talking about when you're walking down the street, like at the end of a block, and right before you get there, a child just kind of rounds the corner at Mach speed, with no parent, by the way, like it's a Disney original movie, and just starts sprinting towards you. Now, I'm sure this is universal, but I'll just point it out. Whenever that happens to me, there is an innate fear that the child is going to deck me in the jaw. And the next thing I know, I will be on the floor with my money gone. Now, am I saying a 7-year-old is mugging me? Not proudly. But that's what I think of when I see a child running towards me. It might be the energy, but I don't know. There's just something about this 7-year-old bound of energy that fills me with absolute fear. And I don't care how tall 7-year-olds are. I just think of them running, having a 50-inch vertical leap. I'm not sure if that's right or not. I didn't do the measurements. I don't necessarily, it's not the point. 70-inch vertical leap, and the next thing I know, I'm on the floor. And so to combat that, because I obviously can't combat the child, I just walk in the street now. Like the road. I just walk in the road. Like the bike lane, still the road, and I just take my chances there. Because I fear bikes less than children. Because the worst thing that a bike can do is hit me and make snide comments about me, which is the same thing that a 7-year-old can do, but for some reason I just feel worse about that one. And so, I don't know, that's probably just a bit childish. I think it's probably, yeah, no, I can say it's childish. But it's just the truth. It's that thing about me. There's nothing I can change about that. And I have to start kind of being okay with those things about me, because those are what make me me. And and another thing is my comedy that I really like and humor, and that's something I pride myself on. But sometimes that comes into question, and that sticks with me. Like there was this one time where I was talking, I was talking to my pescatarian friend Kat, who's actually in the chat right now, and I was riffing some jokes that would be actually used for a stand-up set in the lair that wasn't known. I was just trying to test the waters on them, and we're laughing. So I guess it must have been a good joke or a pity laugh. I'll never know. And we're laughing, and then Kat stops laughing, looks at me, and goes, "Your laugh sounds like a baby cough," and then keeps laughing, leaving me no longer laughing, trying to figure out whether or not that's supposed to be a compliment. Based on all the context clues, I assume that it should be, but yet for the life of me, I can't figure out how. Because the best case scenario that I can think of goes like this. An adult is looking at a child coughing and goes, "Oh, sick baby cough. Cool." And that's it. That's the best I can think of. When in reality, I don't think that's ever happened once. I think that conversation or that statement actually goes, "Oh, sick baby cough. That's not good. That sound shouldn't be coming from an infant or from any living being, actually. They should stop." But that's now just something I hold, something that I love dearly, now attributed to signs of baby pneumonia. But and so I've thought about that for months, and I think I've figured out why I laugh like that. And in reality, I think it's that I'm holding back my actual laugh. That the laugh, if I let myself laugh normally, that the sound that will come out of my mouth will be the equivalency to an alien trying to fit in. Let me explain. It's an alien, of course. I think that's universal. Who knows what sitcoms are, but has never actually seen one, but just kind of pretends that they have so they don't feel left out. And they kind of get what human laughter is about, but they didn't do any research with it because they couldn't be bothered. And so if I had to type it out, it would be the equivalency, the alien laugh, of course, which is also my laugh. It would be the equivalency of a capital HA to homofont, size 72, bolded, underlined, and striped through. Now, if you're having a hard time with that visualization, well, good, lucky for you, I have it printed out because of course I do. It's a scripted joke. Now, if I can get close enough, there you go. This is a size 72 to Homa font, capital HA, bolded, strike through, and underlined. Now, yes, I do need to address some things. One, yes, I forgot to underline the original text and was then too lazy to reprint it, so I just did it in pen. Two, it turns out, if you strike through the letters H and A in capital form, that it doesn't actually really do anything because the properties of the capital H and the capital A already have strike throughs in them, and you're just adding like little nubs at the end. And three, and possibly the biggest problem with this prop joke, it's just not big enough. This looks like I didn't know how to resize a picture and just pasted it into Word and went, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Like, this is size 72 font, the biggest size you can have on a drop-down Microsoft Word menu. And before you type or say, well, did you know that you can actually type out bigger numbers? Yes, I did. But again, too lazy to reprint it. So that's that. I'm glad we're all now on the same page about my alien cough laugh. So that's good. But I think it's not that big of a difference. If it were truly to be a situation, say someone tells a joke, I can't think of any right now. I don't want to be put on the spot, but say someone tells a joke, blah 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 blah, and then they move to Wisconsin, and then the laugh would just be, ha. Now that's a genuine laugh. It's not necessarily genuine in the fact that I had to force it now due to timing and circumstance, but that's about the gist of the laugh. I can say I recreated it pretty well, but that's genuine. And maybe it is not a big deal. Maybe it is only 72 size font, and in my head, it's size 400. Maybe it is. But the main issue with it is that I'm so constantly worried about what other people think of the actions and the way I do things. Like just like with the laugh. If I feel like I'm laughing not genuinely enough, I feel like the other person is thinking I'm being disrespectful. And in case that's not true, I'm just constantly worried about how other people feel. And it affects my life decisions very much so. Like there was this one time I was in a museum. Just believe it. I go to museums. And I was waiting in line. I was by myself, which is also kind of a fishy case for the story, but please do believe me, this happened. Standing in line, and I was looking around because, again, bored, and the person in front of me was getting their ticket. And they pay, put their wallet away, and the lady gives them their ticket, and the lady goes, I think out of the goodness in her heart goes, sir, I know you already paid, but next time, these are actually suggested prices, and you could go into the museum for free. And then hands the ticket. And the guy takes the ticket and goes, oh, you could have told me that earlier, and walks away immediately. Just gets out of there. And I was left stunned. I truly didn't know what to do. I knew I had to walk up next, but I was so astonished that what actually happened. Because one, that's a really rude thing to say to someone who was giving you genuinely good advice. And two, who was that statement for? You said, wish I knew that earlier, and then walked away immediately as if, yeah, good job me, I said that. I couldn't understand it, but I also couldn't get it out of my head as I walked up. And the thing is that I didn't know either that the museum was free and that those were actually suggested amounts for donations. And so I just assumed, okay, I don't want that guy to get mad at me for taking advantage of his situation, so I'm going to pay. And I take out $20, and I'm about to hand it to the lady, but the lady goes and says to me, didn't you hear the last conversation? And in my mind, I'm going, how did she know? When in reality, she probably just saw me standing there looking at her and him and going, I can't believe this. And so I can't lie at this rate because she knows I heard it. So I just go, yes, here is $20. And that's it. And that's what I said with a very long pause because I was trying to give it to pay, but now it kind of sounded like I was giving her $20 because I felt bad. And so in the same pause, I went for the ticket to explain to her as if she didn't know that money was used in exchange for goods and services. And so she kind of just looks at me and is jilted and kind of just takes the money. And at this rate, I'm already hurrying, putting my wallet back in my pocket, trying not to make eye contact with her because I was like, I can't believe I messed up 3 times in one sentence. And she prints out the ticket and hands me the ticket. And I take that as quick as I can. And I go, thank you so much. And she goes, hey, no problem. And I take 2 steps away. And when I take the second step, she goes, oh, yes, sir. Here's your change. And now 2 parts of that sentence really hit me. It was definitely the sir part, because I did not expect to be called sir in a museum. And 2, it was the change part, because I was already 2 steps away and my wallet was already in my pocket. I didn't want to do a whole turnaround, take out the wallet thing. It was probably just loose change anyway. So I just kind of, without turning but slightly going, just keep it, I'm fine, thank you though, and I walk away. And while I'm walking away, I hear her go, all right, which also catches me extremely off guard, because that's the first rude thing I've heard come from her. And it's a complete change of character, and now I'm completely misunderstood on which side I should have been on. And so I'm thinking to myself, why? And so I'm walking through the museum, and I'm thinking to myself, why did that exchange happen? I like how I'm also pretending to hold the ticket still. I'm thinking to myself, why did she laugh that way? And I look at the ticket, and the ticket's $9. I double paid for a ticket I didn't even have to pay for because somebody else got mad, and I didn't want them to get mad at me. And so that's just something I've had to deal with, is trying not to pay 2+ times the amount just because somebody gets a little upset. And then there's another example. Why am I doing prop work with invisible things? There's another example of this. I needed to get glasses. I have them right here just in case I needed to see or something. I needed to get those new glasses because the old ones I've had I lost. But I really didn't want to go to a store because going to an actual physical store would require me to talk to somebody. And that's pretty much about it on the list of reasons why I didn't want to go. But it would also mean, so I guess there is more, but it would also mean I'd have to drag someone with me, because as we all know, I can't go to places alone without spending 2+ times the amount necessary. So I usually drag along my friends. I usually drag along my family, but more recently it's been my friends. And especially with these new eyeglasses, because the last time I went to an eyeglass store was to a lens crafter to get my eye exam, and I dragged along pescatarian Cat, or pescatarian, or pescat as we call her, or if you're actually friends with her, Cat. So I dragged her along, and I thought, okay, maybe she'll just be able to walk through the mall while I'm getting the eye exam, and somehow she ended up in the eye exam room with me, which isn't that big, by the way, with me, the eye exam guy, and her, and for some reason, whenever I would be looking through the goggle things, they would laugh whenever I'd say that lens 1 was clearer than lens 2. Now, I don't know why. I don't know what sick game they're playing at, and I don't think I ever will. But that was my last experience, and I was a little, after that trauma, I didn't want to go back. And so my friend Maddie actually said, well, why don't you just order them online? There's a website that you can do, and they send some, and you try them on, and then, you can buy the frames that you like. And I thought, well, I don't want to do that, because if I do that, I'll make my old eyeglass store jealous. Those are the actual words my brain thought when suggested to get new glasses. And now you might be thinking, what, like the store itself, like the inanimate object? No, I'm not that crazy. I mean the store owner, aka an actual grown man with a wife and child, will get jealous if he sees me wearing different glasses. And you might be saying, how? Easily. They could see me wearing them because we follow each other on Instagram. And then I had to stop myself. I fully had to check myself and think, well, hold up. A little conceited, thinking that this man's whole life revolves around whether or not you are wearing different pair of glasses on Instagram. Little bit of a jump, but for longer than I like to admit, which is 72 hours, I thought about how I would get around it, and that involved blocking him, deleting Instagram, or just never wearing glasses again. All viable in my mind. And then Maddie, 3 days later, went, "This is ridiculous. Here's the link." And I went, "Okay, yeah, sure, that sounds reasonable," because I'm easily swayed. And so it's a sense of overanalyzing. I'm just constantly overanalyzing everything, and there's bad to it, but I think there's also good, because I think when it comes down to communication, I have maybe not the best track record with my speech, but I have a good analysis of it. And I have certain phrases that I've broken down to explain. And these are like common everyday phrases. Like my over analysis has looked at them and gone, okay, these phrases, maybe they're not the best. And I'm sorry if you've used them. This is not an attack on you. This is just me thinking about them. You've probably said them, and I've probably gone, okay, wait a minute, what does that phrase actually mean? The first phrase is, "You can't win them all." Not true. You can win them all. Is it probable? No. Is it likely? Definitely not. Is it possible? Yeah. I don't see why not. It's not like you get to the 99th win and then all of a sudden you go, "Oh, well, the 100th one is it's just impossible." The state of the world just will not allow it. And the phrase is commonly used when you lose a game or you lose a match or something, and you're kind of down in it, and your friend goes, "You can't win them all." Yeah, not anymore, I can't, because I lost. You're now just telling me a factual statement. Oh, you can't win them all anymore, because that's one L, buddy. It's actually now impossible. So good luck dealing with that. And it's just a mind game. It also just doesn't help. You can't win them all. That leads nothing. Oh, okay, cool. Where's the growth? To be okay with losing? No. I've now noticed that I'm talking myself into a corner, which happens a lot when I do these over analyses, because I think, oh yeah, this is good. This is good. Oh, wait a minute. No, now I'm just being cynical. And so I'm going to cut myself short on that one. The second one is the phrase, "It happens to the best of us." This one I'm going to break down. "It happens to the best of us" is usually used when you're in a troubling situation. Like, say you failed a math test, and you're like, I failed Miss Steinbeck's math test. I don't think I'm going to pass this semester. And your friend goes, "Hey, it happens to the best of us." Cool. How'd they deal with it? Also, it happens to the best of us. Who is this best group that you have now introduced into the equation? Who are they? And why are they still having the issues with it? It's truly it happens. It's still happening. There's no way to get around it. To the best, a group that you don't belong in, sorry, buddy, of us. Who is us? The human race? Humankind? Because as far as I know, I'm only talking about me failing Miss Steinbeck's math test. Not everyone. This is my problem, and you didn't tell me how to deal with it. You gave me a phrase that goes, "Ugh, that sucks, but I don't know what to say. So here's a phrase I've heard once, and you apply your own meaning." And where does anyone go from that? The third phrase is the phrase, "How was your day?" Now, I don't need to look at the screen to notice that there's probably a few quizzical faces on how is he going to string this one into a reasonable thought. That's understandable. I even said, "How was your day?" earlier to someone in this Zoom call and immediately regretted it, because I knew of the consequences, but it's just so ingrained that it's just pressed upon. How is your day? Can't go that well. It's just a starter phrase for a conversation that is socially contracted. This is the best case scenario, and there's three. Person A will go, "How's your day?" And person B, you can tell because I'm changing sides of the screen. And person B will go, "Good. I did this, this, and this, and then I did this, and then I did this thing also." And then they'll pause, and then they'll wait a bit, and then they'll go, "How was your day?" Because now they're socially contracted to. And then person A will go, "Oh," and make something up about person B's story that they related to, even though they just picked out one hot word and went, "Yeah, I can just pretend I was listening." Like, "Oh yeah, you mentioned kayaking, and that reminded me. I went to Joe's birthday party today, and that was a whole thing. We did this." And person B's sitting there going, "Right, how does that make sense? But I can't call them out on it. But I guess I'm just standing here." And then person A finishes their side of the conversation and then has free reign to just go, "Okay, see you later," or introduce a new topic, which could have just happened to begin with. And so that's the best case scenario. A kind of worst case scenario of "How was your day?" starts like this. Person A goes, "How's your day?" Person B responds with, "It was all right." And that's it. That's the whole conversation there. The person A can't recover. The person A could try. There's just nothing person A can do that will make that conversation fun or at all beneficial, because person B just wants to go home. Person B has shown all sides of, "Buddy, can I leave? I just want to go." It was all right is the equivalency to, "It was bad. I don't want to talk about it because I'm giving you the sense of that you don't want to know, or you just might not care. And I just want to go home again." And so that's the okay situation. The absolute worst way that "How is your day?" can go is a little something like this. Person A, "How's your day?" "How was my day?" It's never good when they repeat the question. "How was my day?" Never good when they do it twice. Well, uh-oh. Well, I woke up 5 minutes late to work today, so I couldn't shower, couldn't brush my teeth, couldn't even eat breakfast. So I just had to get changed, and then I had to run 5 blocks down. And so, I get out there and I'm thinking to myself, what did I forget? And I realized, and I looked down, I realized that I forgot my time. And so I'm thinking, okay, I can't go. I'm already 10 minutes late at this point. So I run 2 more blocks, and I'm thinking, what else did I forget? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, did I lock the door? And so now I'm running back all 7 blocks because I'm thinking, I can't take that gamble because my neighbor was broken into 2 months ago. So I get all the way back to the building, and I step in a puddle that I didn't even realize was there when I first left the building. And so I get to my door, and I check the door. Yes, it is locked because I'm a stupid idiot that forgets. And then I leave the building and I step in the puddle again because I'm a stupid idiot that doesn't learn from his stupid idiot mistakes. And so I run 2 more blocks down, and then I realize, oh, my shoes are actually kind of squishy. And I realized to myself I could have changed shoes when I was back at the apartment. So I go, great. So I run back to the apartment, step in the puddle again because at this point it's already soaked and I don't want to take any more time. Open the building door, get into my apartment. Oh, try to open the door, but guess what? It's locked because you locked it, stupid idiot. Take your keys out, unlock the door, get in, get to the bedroom, untie my shoes, take off my shoes, put on new shoes, and tie those new shoes, and take a few steps, and then realize, it was the socks that were the actual issue. Untie those socks, untie the shoes, take off the new shoes, take off the socks, put on new socks, put on the new shoes, tie the new shoes, and I'm thinking to myself, phone, wallet, where are my keys? Where are my keys? And I'm running around, and I'm thinking to myself, great, I'm 20 minutes late at this rate, and I can't find my keys. And I realize to myself, I left the keys in the door. So I get the door, close the door, start to run out of the building, go to myself, did I lock the door? Go back to the door. No, I didn't. Lock the door. Check it. Take a step, phone, wallet, keys. Yep, all there. Door locked. Yep. Okay, run out the building. Get to the building. realize, oh, there's a puddle there. Don't want to step in that again. So I try to sneak around the puddle, bump my elbow into the railing. As I'm going, great. What a great substitute. So now I'm running 10 blocks down to the station. I'm 40 minutes late at this rate. And so I get to the station. Guess who misses the train? Guess who misses the train? Oh, and if you didn't guess me, then you're missing out on the context clues of how bad this day is. And of course, it's a bad day in the city. You're just missing out on how bad this day is. You might say, why didn't I leave 5 minutes earlier? And then I would say, oh, instead of 40 minutes late, I'd just be 35 minutes late. Wow. And so the metro comes, and the metro is just musty, sick, and it's running slower than usual. Double sick. And so I look down and I try to check my phone for the time, and as I'm looking down, I realize I forgot the tie again, even though I was back at the apartment so many times. Triple sick. Oh, and my phone's cracked, so I guess we'll just skip over that one. And so put the phone back in the wallet. I put my phone back in my pocket, actually, and then I realize, oh great, now I'm 55 minutes late. Oh, and now the metro's at the station. So I run out of the station, go up, and I'm jogging these 5 last blocks, and I realize, oh, I'm now an hour late. I'm now an hour late to work. And Cynthia, and I get to my building, and Cynthia is at the front desk looking at me smiling because she knows how bad of a day I've already had, but I don't want her to ask me a question about it. So she just goes, hey, by the way, you need to sign the forms when you get a chance. And I go, Cynthia, can't you see that I'm an hour late, but I don't want to be mean. So I put on that smile and I go, I'll sign them at the end of the day. And she goes, I really need you to sign those. And I'm going, great, Cynthia. And I get there and I sign it. And I sit down at my desk and I sign it, and I'm trying to work. Because I've been up for that new promotion, but I can't be up for that new promotion if I'm an hour and 5 minutes late to work. So I'm trying to catch up on time because I figured out a way so it doesn't mark one different time. But I still have to be here and I have to do the work. And then here comes Martha. And I don't want to talk to Martha. But Martha's talking to me like, hey, me and John are having our anniversary, and we want you and Ashley to come over and celebrate with us. And I'm going, great, Martha. I'm not really sure. It would mean a lot. And I just want her to leave. So I say yes without thinking that Ashley actually hates Martha, and I can't stand John. So now I have to explain to Ashley why I set us up on a double date for their anniversary, and I'm not even that close to them. So I'm going, okay, great, Martha, can you leave now? And so she leaves. And then here comes Mr. Madcat, my boss, and I'm like, oh, please, no, it's almost the end of the day because time has traveled, but I didn't mention it. And I go, oh, please don't come. I'm almost at the end of my day. I know he's going to notice it and say something about my hour and 5 minutes late to work. He comes up to me and he goes, hey, yeah, I hate to be the bad guy here, but really, we have a strict tie policy. And I'm thinking, oh, great, yeah, the tie part. Yeah, and this is your second offense. And if you break it for a third time, I'm going to have to let the uppers know, but I hate to be the bad guy. But I'm really keen on things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, you're really keen on things like that, but you didn't realize I'm an hour and 5 minutes late to work today. But I didn't say that because that's a stupid idiot mistake that I'm not going to say. And so Mr. Macket's like, actually, there's a tie, and I remember the word for it. There's a tie I want you to get at this tie place that I found. And I'm thinking, oh man, he better not be talking about that tie place that I showed him. Yeah, it's this tie place right here. Oh, good, it is the tie place I showed him. But I don't want to say anything because I'm already behind. And so I'm looking at the tie, and before I can get a good look at it, the phone rings, and it's someone named Rose. I'm thinking, who could Rose be? And he feels his phone vibrating, and he turns and looks at it and goes, hey, honey, are we still on for that romantic dinner date? I'm thinking to myself, isn't he married to someone named Megan? And then he goes, yeah, I picked out a nice hotel for us to go to later. I'm thinking, I should not be here for this conversation. This is a conversation he should have behind closed doors. And so now he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and we both know I heard whatever he's trying to tell her secretly, but it's not secretly because I'm there. So he goes, yeah, go get that tie. And I'm going, I'm like, okay, great. So he leaves, and so I finish up the work for the day, and I go downstairs, and there's Cynthia at the front desk again with the forms that I forgot I had to do. And she goes, hey, by the way, the forms are still here. And I'm like, Cynthia, I'm kind of in a rush to get to this tie store that's 15 minutes away, but I kind of really got to do that now because I don't want to get fired. She goes, yeah, I know, but if you don't fill out these forms, you're going to get fired anyway. So I think it's just great if you do this now. I'm thinking, okay, great, okay, awesome. So I run over and do Cynthia's forms, and as I'm leaving, she goes, by the way, you missed one, but I'll get you later. I'm like, great, Cynthia, awesome. And so now I'm running to the 15-minute away tie store, and I'm thinking, oh God, this day can't get any worse. And then I think to myself, oh, you probably shouldn't say that, because in any story in which someone says that, it immediately gets worse. And guess what? It actually happens. because now it starts to rain. I'm thinking, where did this rain come from? And then I think to the puddle earlier, and I go, oh, all the signs were there. And so now I'm running faster, and now it's raining harder. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, please just let me get to the Thai store. But then Noah's Ark Part 2 happens, and I'm thinking, okay, I think I'm gonna get swept away with this one. So I run into the nearest pizza joint, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll just wait this out. It'll just be 5 minutes. It'll be soon. But then I hear a cough and a, hey, by the way, man, no loitering. And I'm thinking, oh, man, what is this? But then I'm go, okay, can you see that it's rain outside? He goes, I don't care if it's Noah's Ark Part 2. And then I go, hey, wait a minute, I said that. And then he goes, I was thinking that earlier. And he goes, yeah, well, I don't care. You can't loiter in here. You have to buy something or leave. And I'm like, okay, fine. It's a dollar pizza joint. I'm not that strapped for cash. But then I realized I only have big bills and I only have I have only one $1 bill. And so I take that out, but as I'm taking it out, it rips in half. So now I'm kind of looking at him going, can I have 2 half slices for $2 half dollars? And he's looking at me going, no, you can't do that. It's $1 for 1 slice. And so I'm thinking, well, great, okay. And I toss that aside. And then I realize, okay, and then I'm like, I'll pay with card. So I take out the card and I say, can I pay with card? But as I'm saying, can I pay with card? I look down and it says, no card purchases for less than $5. And then I go, oh, wait, but before I can say that, he goes, yeah, what do you want? Then I say, actually, no, I don't want to pay the $5. And then he goes, well, then why did you ask? And then I say, well, I actually didn't know that it was only $5 before. And then he said, why didn't you read the sign? I said, I didn't know that it was only $5 until after I read the sign. And then he goes, why didn't you read the sign before you spoke? And then at this point, I just don't want to play this logical chess game anymore. And so I just might as well go outside into the rain that's falling like it owes money in hell and Satan's calling. So I go out there, I get out into the street, and I'm running the last few minutes to the Thai store. And so now I'm here in the Thai store talking to you, trying to remember what Thai it was, out of breath. How was your day? It was all right. Oh, it's a stupid phrase. Guys, thank you so much. This was my first stand-up comedy set, and I'm very grateful that you all stuck through with me on that journey. Oh wow. Yeah, we're all done. That's it. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, comments, whatever.